Hi there, and welcome to the IBAC Tech Trek podcast, where we explore the outer reaches of insurance technology. I'm your science officer, Tom Reid, and I'm joined today by Julian Stillitano, CEO of JAS Communications. Hey, Julian, how's it going?
Hey, I was going well, and kudos to you for not butchering my name. I've done a lot of these in the past, and I know the Italian last name can be hard to pronounce sometimes, but kudos to you.
Thanks. Don't ask me to do it again. It may not work. Uh, so
First time's a charm.
that's right. All right. Speaking of your name, maybe you can give us a bit of a bio on yourself, Julian, and maybe you can weave in the background of JAS Communications while you're doing that.
Absolutely. So I've actually been in the telephony industry for probably around 10 years now. My background is, sales background, always working in sales, and I've always been interested in technology. And in my past life, before I started Jazz, I had the opportunity to get myself into telephony and work alongside different industries. And I realized that in the insurance industry, technology was lacking. This is 6-7 years ago, and I was given the opportunity to kind of grow the telephony division of where I used to work in the insurance division, and I've built a lot of long-lasting relationships, made a lot of powerful connections, and for me, my goal, as when I came out of school and came out of all my learning tools, was always to how can I make someone's life easier. And I realized that sometimes in offering technology, especially in InsureTech, there's ways to do so. So after working in my past experience for many years, I decided to kind of offset into jazz. And the way jazz started is actually wasn't my idea, it wasn't my business partner's idea. It was actually one of my clients' idea that I used to work with in the past. We were actually, like I said, working for another telephony system, and things didn't really work out. And I was actually employee number 5 at that old business I used to work at, with my business partner who followed me, at Jazz today. We were one of the first employees at that business. And when we decided to leave on our last day, one of our customers called us and said, hey, I'm looking to expand my business. I need some help. And we unfortunately had to tell him that, it won't be us helping him. We are, leaving this business, and that someone else will be taking our place. And when he heard that, he said something is not right. So let's go for a beer. Let's have a chat. I just want to, get to know you guys outside of the business world. So we met up that night. It was a Friday evening, and we were talking, just having a regular, cocktail, watching a hockey game with chicken wings, and we were just chatting. And he goes, "Why don't we start our own company? Why don't we just partner up together?" He had a marketing firm, so he had a lot of outreach and he had experience in branding, and he had already a pool of customers that he wanted us to kind of reach out to. And we looked at each other and said, you know what, why not? Let's do it. And Jazz is actually our initials. It's the first letter of our last name. So that's where we got the name, Jazz for. And I mean, all of you may knowing, Quebec and the way our bilingualism works here. You have to find a business name that can be translated in both French and English. And in French, the word jazz is on jase. It's let's talk. So it kind of plays alongside the communication part, which is the telephony systems that we offer. And in English, the term jazzed is are you jazzed out? Are you excited? Is this interesting? Are you jazzed by what this company has to offer? So we use that for a little bit of play on words. And even when we meet with customers, our little link is always let's jazz, let's have a chat. So that's kind of how JAS Communications was born. It wasn't my idea. It wasn't my business partner Patrick's. It was a client of ours that helped us, find the idea to do this, and we took the leap of faith and haven't looked back since.
Fantastic. Well, that's a phenomenal origin story. Thanks for that. So let's get into the company itself, and let's talk about what you guys actually do. So maybe talk about the telephony solution that JAS Communications is offering. Basically, what is it that your product does?
Absolutely. So at JAS Communications, we'd say that telephony is actually the most boring part of our business, but we still have a lot of customers that want a reliable phone system that come to us for that, and we'll get into other things that we offer. But essentially, what we specialize in is medium to large brokerages, large businesses looking for, call center solutions, contact center solutions. And we have different ways that companies can communicate with their customers. It's not just voice, it's also SMS, MMS, so pictures, emojis, text messages. We realize that, getting into 2025 in the next few months, a lot of clients want to text their broker or their account manager in any field that they work in. So we see a lot of people utilize text messages now a lot more, and also website chat. I mean, being able to enhance how you communicate with your customers, giving them different verticals to do so. That's kind of what we specialize in a one-stop shop solution. We know that in technology, especially in the phone system world, sometimes a lot of portals that people got to log into. They got to log in here to find their call recordings. They got to log in there for their soft phone application. So with JAS, we wanted to simplify a lot of things where you have one username, one password, and you're on your one screen in that one-stop shop environment, and you're one click away in that same portal to maneuver through all of your tabs. So simplicity is very big on our offering. And from a phone system perspective, we have all the tools that customers need to, increase that efficiency and productivity from a call center perspective, or even just direct to direct.
Awesome. So I usually like to talk to InsureTechs about what lines of business that they focus in on, but I'm going to imagine that you guys, it's irrelevant to the line of business. Is that true?
Correct. So from an outbound sales perspective, our strict focus today is insurance. We found a lot of gaps in technology on the phone system side that we want to help resolve, which we really help a lot with that. But from an inbound perspective, I mean, if we have, a financial institution that, wants our system for their call center, or if a law firm calls us, or a car dealership or whatnot, we have the right tools to go into a business, no matter what industry they're in, and check all the boxes on what they need because of the different services that we offer. But from an outbound perspective, from a branding perspective, from, a convention perspective, we really are focusing on insurance to bring, this need to the industry and really solve a challenge that many brokers are telling us today, no matter where we're at, in any conference or even any meeting, that they really want these types of tools. So that's really what we're working on right now. Our development team is focused on getting these features to the market, and that's where all our energy is focused on from an outbound perspective.
One of the things that is of personal interest to me, and I would imagine to you, given your comments about making things simple, is integrations, right? So the customer is giving a broker information over the phone, and vice versa. So how does your platform integrate with other tools that a broker may have at their disposal?
Yeah, absolutely. So we developed what we call JAS Connect, which is our in-house developed open APIs that we can basically plug in our offering to any InsureTech or any sort of in-house solution, whatever the broker uses that they want it to collaborate to, we're there to do so. For example, we have a lot of brokers tell us, hey, I want my system to integrate, with TrueMarket. I want a system offered by Trufla. I wanted to also talk to, my Applied Epic system, and also talk to my pathway system, and so on and so forth. Well, we go into a business and basically offer them our solution where we can make that happen. Especially now with all of these IBAC Tech conferences and meetings that we have, that's what the brokers want, is collaboration. So with the JAS Connect tool that we released approximately a year ago, we're now able to do so. No matter what system the broker uses, we're able to go in there, offer the telephony system, but also integrate it into what they use. So whenever a phone conversation has been complete, well, the call recording will automatically be attached into the client file. We also are working on getting other tools as well, like a client pop-up where you're able to write notes live about the call, tag the call if ever you want to tag it as a new business or a policy renewal. This way, whenever that conversation is done, it will automatically be attached into the client file, whether it's in a TrueMarket or whether it's in a broker management system.
Awesome. Okay, so that's what you guys do, what you offer, right? So brokers aren't buying technology because they like technology. They're buying technology because it's an investment in their business, and that investment is meant to generate some sort of returns, right? So I usually look at those returns in three ways. Are you increasing your productivity? Are you improving the client experience? And are you improving the growth of the organization, the sales function of the organization? Maybe talk to me about what your brokers are experiencing in each of those three metrics because of your platform.
So as I alluded to earlier, a lot of brokers were asking us to develop that JAS Connect tool to increase productivity and efficiency. And actually, right now, the biggest challenge in a broker perspective is when whatever VoIP system they're using, whatever telephony system they're using, they're manually going into call recording portal, downloading it, then drag and dropping that call into the BMS in the client file. And a lot of the challenges I'm hearing is my brokers don't do it. They're either they forget to do it. Yes, I have call recording. It's great from an E&O standpoint. If ever I have to go back and filter and find that call, it's awesome. But I want to be able to kind of erase that manual work and have it automatically attached in the client file for A, not having my broker needing to remember to do it within their busy schedule and busy task on a day-to-day basis that they perform. And then B, just having it there if ever I have to go through an audit or go through a performance review or whatnot, everything is already labeled and logged as an activity in the broker management system. So from a productivity perspective, this is where JAS comes in there and really helps solve that problem and also becoming more efficient. I mean, I hear brokers that, I ask them, hey, do you record your phone calls? They say, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're recorded or I don't know how to find them. So us going in there, having a nice, call recording portal and then going above and beyond and recording and putting them into the BMS or any InsureTech platform, as I alluded to, that's where we come in there to really increase that efficiency and productivity. And it really goes beyond that as well. We're also, of course, AI is kind of the big tool right now that many brokers are kind of talking about. It's kind of the trend at different conferences. We also developed an AI solution. So we have in our JAS Connect offering, we also offer sentiment analysis and tonality, which is, of course, phase one, and we can get into where we're going with it. But right now, we're able to kind of pull a call analysis, get a whole transcription of the call, and then also get the sentiment. So was the client happy? Was your broker, how was the tone of your broker talking to the client? Was it joyful? Was it neutral? Was there anger? How was the tone? So that's kind of what we already offer today. It's available to the market. Of course, we're optimizing it every day and getting feedback from the clients. But that's kind of what we're really offering right now is our main values is how can we go into a brokerage, and like you mentioned to Tom, and that's kind of the goal that many InsureTech should have, is how can we go into a business and give them the option to optimize efficiency and boost productivity, because that's the main trend right now with all InsureTechs.
Yeah, that sentiment analysis one is quite an interesting one. We've talked about, not you and I, but the industry has been talked about, net promoter score and things like that, which rely on people filling out forms and whatnot, which is not an imperfect way of measuring your customer sentiment. Actually being able to measure their emotions, if you will, on a phone call sounds fantastic. So I imagine that kind of thing improves the end client's experience. Can you talk a bit more about what impact your platform has on the end customer?
So from the end customer perspective, the beauty of a system like JAS is it can help a lot on, like you said, the net promoter score, but even on the customer experience when someone's calling into a business. Number one, from a reliability perspective, JAS uses probably the most robust infrastructures in the world from an infrastructure level, but also from a redundancy level to really ensure that the connectivity between the broker and the end client is at 100% at all times. But ideally, apart from just the reliability standpoint and the connectivity, it really comes down to the tools that we offer. And you mentioned it, Tom, right on the money, from the sentiment analysis and the tonality analysis, is if ever a client comes back and says, hey, I didn't really appreciate, this conversation, or hey, I kind of spoke about this on the call and I wasn't aware that I was getting, insured for this or covered on this. Well, that's where the beauty of our system can help that, where you're not just shipping out call recordings saying, here, listen to it. The call was an hour long. Go to the 15th minute and you'll find what you need. No, well, we have that transcript available where you can actually see the journey of the call. So at what time of the day, what time of the call was this spoken about? What time was, the tone maybe a little bit more aggressive during the call? Because you can really filter through that transcription the keywords needed to find the information on that call. So these are all things that can really help. Um, on the call from an end user perspective, but also really always being able to take feedback from the industry. So that's kind of what we're really big on as well. Is we're not the insurance experts. We don't know what all of you do on a daily basis. We're phone system experts. We know how to utilize our system, but we're not insurance experts. Meaning that we have a lot of customers give us feedback. We listen to them. And we're going to be working a lot more alongside different, organizations to really help bring a good product to the market.
Awesome. So I've got my last question here on business impact, right? So like I said before, every dollar that brokers spend, is typically seen as an investment, which typically needs a return on said investment. In a lot of cases, that the desire is for improved growth. Do your clients report back to you that they're growing more because they're using your system?
Yeah, we have reports that we run every month from a natural growth perspective. And let me tell you, the growth I see from my clients, I'm not just saying it's JAS, it can be other tools that brokers are using, but our clients are growing every month. We always constantly are seeing growth, new users being added, acquisitions being done, adding them to the phone system. This way they can, consolidate all of their, technology. But I do see that. And I do see a lot of the times when we're at conferences or even just emails that we get from customers saying, hey guys, like it's a breath of fresh air working with you guys. When we hire someone new, you guys will take care of the training. You will take care of helping them out. So from a scalability perspective, we are there for that, and we see a lot of growth. And again, I'm not saying that it's due to us. It can be other tools that brokers are really adding right now to their operations, but it's definitely a big part in that. And again, if JAS is a part of it, great. But we see a lot of growth in a lot of our customers every month adding new users to the system.
Fantastic. So let me switch over to some technical considerations here. So first and foremost, let's talk security. So how does JAS ensure that the brokers/clients' data is kept private and secure?
So one thing that we do differently than other telephony systems out there is the way it works in the tech world, especially when it comes to booting up phone systems. A lot of companies do it in what they call containers, where they'll basically boot up a container and they'll put in maybe 50 or 60 clients in that container. At JAS, we didn't want to touch that sort of setup within a 10-foot pole. And there are a lot of companies that do that today. We didn't want to do that. So the way it works with JAS is whenever a new client joins our telephony solution, we put them on their own instance. They're on their own network. If we ever have to troubleshoot them, we're not troubleshooting, as I mentioned, that container with 50, 60 clients in there. It's just that company. And that also creates 7 layers of security in the way that our infrastructure is built. So we have, of course, infrastructures and servers all across Canada for our Canadian clients. And then we also offer services in the US for our American agencies, and we have servers in different states as well in the US. But all to say is, no matter which province in Canada the broker is located, we have a server there for them to make sure their data is hosted in their region that they operate in, and we can ensure that we have that security measure of 99.999% from an uptime perspective and also from a security level because of the redundancies that we have on the infrastructure level, but also on the carrier level. Because of course, being able to offer telephony solutions, we got to deal with different carriers. So we really make sure to have the top tier carriers available to make sure that number one, everyone's data is secure, and number two, they have the reliability in place to run their operation smoothly. And as we know in insurance, the phone system is how they make their revenue. It's how they speak to customers, it's how they book appointments, it's how they sell their services. So we know how important the phone system is to an insurance operation, and that's why we were able to put in these measures of security and infrastructure levels to make sure that the customer is never down.
Fantastic. So say 99.9939 after the decimal.
You got it.
That's pretty good. Um, so you alluded to scale earlier. Maybe talk about how it is that JAS can scale with a client. So whether they're a 10-person operation or 100-person or more, how do you scale with that client to ensure they're still getting the highest level of quality?
We have a motto internally that whether it's let's say a 10-person operation brokerage or a 600 operation brokerage, there's no such difference in how we treat that customer. Meaning that if ever we have a smaller brokerage come on JAS, we know that within the next few years, this brokerage will not be 4 people or 5 people anymore. They are going to grow. And that's where we're going to be there to assist them because of the features that we offer. So it is very scalable when a client does begin their journey with JAS because they may not use all of our powerful tools. They might just need a regular phone system to communicate with their customers. And with our periodic follow-ups, we make sure to give them calls and make sure that they're satisfied with the system, let them know what we're developing, let them know what else is available in the system, and then they end up thinking, okay, well, right now I'm just using what I have now because I'm maybe a 5 or 6 people operation. When I get to 10, 12, oh, this would be a cool feature to add that's going to help me grow to 20 or 25 or even 30. So from a scalability standpoint, it's extremely seamless to scale with JAS. It's even part of our outbound reach where we always look at it as an investment when a brokerage joins JAS, where you're investing in the solution with us, whatever you're supporting us with from a compensation level, we're reinvesting this into the business. So we always have brokers that are always enjoying the growth with us, and even from us too, seeing a brokerage join us with 10 people and then scaling to 30, 40 people. It's always a pleasure to see that as well. So it's very easy to go ahead and scale from a user of JAS.
Awesome. Well, and I assume from JAS's perspective, they also like to see their clients grow.
Yes.
That helps your growth as well. So
Exactly.
So let's talk about implementation. So great product. Let's assume it's a good price. We'll get into that in a second. But things can fall down at the point of implementation. Talk to me about what support you provide to your customers when it's the day of going live, and then maybe a year after you go live. What happens? How do you support your customers in terms of implementation and ongoing support?
So one of our core values at JAS is going above and beyond. And I know people use that word probably like brushing their teeth. People are using that word so much these days. But we actually do really go above and beyond. And I'll tell you why. When a client joins JAS, we assign them a project manager. Again, whether it's a small operational brokerage or a large operational brokerage, they will get an assigned project manager. Now, the beauty of this is that assigned project manager also becomes their assigned account manager when they're live with the system. So that personal approach for us is huge, where we're not just sending out templates to fill out and say, okay, we'll fill out this form, watch this video. If you have any questions, reach out to support and they'll get back to you with an answer. We don't do any of that. It's a full kickoff meeting where the project manager gets to know the customer. They enjoy a little background, talk about their operations, how they work, their location, where they're located, and so on and so forth. So we get to know that customer and build rapport that way. And then from there, it's that same person that's dealing with the implementation from step one to the go live. And even once they're live, one thing that we do, and we see this a lot with our competition and our competitors on the market, people are outsourcing now, where they're saying, okay, well, you know what, you're live. If you need help, call this number or send a ticket in, and odds are you'll probably be talking to someone that's either in South America or somewhere that's outsourced, and that's okay. People are doing that, but for us, it does not work, and we don't want to do that. For us, we want to make sure that the service is a personal service. You have someone local in Canada that you speak to, and you have their direct phone number. So that's where we assign that account manager, whether you're a small operational brokerage or a larger one, that if you need to call for help, need us to train one of your new staff members, you need us to assist you with troubleshooting, you're not going to be calling into a customer service queue and waiting 15, 20 minutes and then talking to someone who has no idea about your current situation. You are going to be calling someone who was with you during the implementation, who was with you during your questions you had early on in the go live, and you'll have someone who knows your account inside and out and that you've built a relationship with during the implementation. And that's what we get a lot about feedback is you guys have a great system, but the way you support it makes us really happy with choosing JAS and working alongside your company. And that's where it really takes us, like I said, above and beyond.
Support is incredibly important. It's sometimes an afterthought. New development is always the sexy, cool stuff, but actually making sure that what you built works for the customer is really important in the long run.
The way we always talk about it internally is, especially today in 2024, with so much technology out there, it's not hard to start a tech company. It's not hard to let's say in a phone system perspective, find a solution online that you can white label and offer to the market. Of course, it takes a mindset, it takes dedication to build a successful business, but to start something, it's not hard to do it if you put your mind to it. But the way I say it is anyone can do that, but the support is where it actually is a long lasting business, because anyone can just sell something. Anybody can offer a product, but if you cannot support it, that product means nothing.
Yeah, well said. So let's talk about the costs. So I've been using the term investment throughout this process, but at the end of the day, it is a cost to the brokerage. Maybe talk us through how your pricing model works.
So we are very competitive, meaning on a pricing structure. It is a price per seat module where we do price per user, prices per seat. And the way we see it, to be honest, Tom, one thing that we again do differently is we're not a price-driven solution, meaning that I'm not going to just go into a company and they'll tell me, hey, I got quotes from 4 of the businesses. If you beat this price, we will sign with you. That's not the kind of brokerage and service that we want to offer. We're here to offer a solution-driven solution where we go into a company, talk about their challenges, talk about their requirements, and then from there offer them a product that's tailored to them, that's going to help check the boxes on the current challenges they offer. It's a price per seat, and then we have a small implementation fee according to the size of the brokerage. It's a one-time fee. They pay once, and then they'll never pay it again, and then they'll just have a reoccurring monthly subscription that they will pay. But also, where we are different is we do not lock companies into any contract. There's no contract term with JAS. Of course, if a company wants to commit to us, we will work on some sort of agreement with them. But off the bat, it's a month to month. I do not believe in locking brokerages into long-term contracts. We make our system do the talking for us. We have customers that have been with us for many, many years and don't plan on leaving. So for us, I don't believe in going into a company and saying, hey, here's a 36-month contract, please sign here. It's no, you pay as you go. It's a month to month. You're happy, you stay. If you're not happy, well, we wish you the best of luck and we'll help you transition to your new provider.
So are you sure you're a telephony company? Because every other telephony company I've ever dealt with, TELUS, locks you into multi-year contracts.
Yeah, and then they auto renew you as well, and that's not just TELUS. It's so many other businesses, and again, that's the mindset that we have, is we want to be different. That's where people say, you know what, I can relate to these guys. I can relate to them. They know what being in the people business is. They know that we don't like getting locked into contracts, so I don't want to get offered long-term contract. I want to be able to have that flexibility, and that's where we kind of get along, and people drop their guard and say, you know what, these guys, they're not just typical salespeople coming in to sell me a solution. They do really care about my problems. They do really want to solve my challenges and come in here with a winning solution. So I know it's probably unheard of. I know people probably tell me it can't be that you don't offer a contract. There has to be something in the fine print that I'm not reading properly, but it really is true. And even from let's say if ever a company decides to leave JAS to go somewhere else, we don't burn any bridges. We make sure that we can assist them in the transition. And like I said, going above and beyond is not only just for a customer that is with us, it's also for customers that need to go somewhere else, whether it's through a merger or acquisition, and we have to lose them to an acquisition. We will make sure to help them to make sure that everything is a smooth transition.
You said the word if there a lot. Have you ever lost a customer?
We have, absolutely. I mean, we've lost maybe 2 or 3 clients since we started JAS. luckily no insurance. We haven't lost an insurance brokerage using JAS. Every insurance brokerage that have signed with JAS have not left us. But we've lost some small companies that utilized us for their telephony needs, and some of them left because they found their solution too robust, or some left because they wanted to kind of remove their phone system and go more towards a landline system or on their cell phone. So we have never lost a solution due to lack of support or lack of product offering. It was more for things that didn't align or wasn't the best timing. Actually, a customer that left actually came back to JAS. So all to say is, like I said, we never burn bridges. So if someone leaves us, we make sure to help them out, wish them the best of luck, and we never know, something will turn out and come back around in the near future.
So you've never lost any insurance brokers, and 50% of the customers you've lost have come back to you. So that's not bad.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
So let's talk about the future. So where is JAS going in the next, 2 to 5 years? What's JAS going to look like down the road a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal for us in the next 2 years is to be the core phone system solution for all insurance brokers, whether you're based out of Canada or based out of the US. We really want to be the core solution in North America for your communication needs. So basically what we're doing to make that happen is, right now we've opened up communications with the core broker management systems, and I can openly talk about that. We're working right now with Acturus. We're working right now with Vertifor, working, of course, with Applied, and, of course, working with some pretty big InsureTech companies, just like Trufla as well. So being able to offer tools that integrate with all sorts of InsureTech solutions, that's where we're at right now. We're developing those integrations, and we're going to bring them to market in the next few months to really start saying, okay, JAS has its integrations, and now we're going to start offering them to the public. And the goal for us is, if I'm meeting with an insurance broker the same way you and I, Tom, are talking, I want to be able to say, okay, so you're using, InsureTech A for this, InsureTech B for this. Well, the good news is we can communicate with both of them. So if you want your true market to talk to your Vertifor broker management system, well, JAS will also talk to those two tools to make sure that all your communication is going to be already into your client file for those solutions. That's kind of where we're at right now, is building that foundation to then take off and say to the industry, all right, we got the integrations now. This is what you wanted. We collaborated with all the InsureTech vendors, and that's what the industry wants. I mean, Tom, you hear it as well in all of our IBAC meetings, is people want collaboration, and that's where we're open to doing it, and that's where we're going. And then apart from just the integration standpoint, it's the AI. The AI is really, really what's big right now. I know people are saying, and the stats are that AI is only at 60% right now, which it probably is. I mean, I see a lot of flaws in it right now, but we want to take that AI piece of JAS and add so much more, optimization to it. I mean, I had a broker tell me, I want to be able to flag if ever one of my clients during a call says, well, your premium is too high, I'm going to start shopping around. So what we're going to be adding into our AI solution in phase 2 is keyword flagging. Being able to flag a keyword, the second it's said, the manager will get notified, hey, your client just said this in the call. Or if ever you want to run a report to see how many times someone has renewed a policy with you, we're also going to be adding that as well. So these are all things that we're in constant development in. And what we're also going to be starting next year is as a tech committee. We're going to be probably taking maybe 5 or 6 large brokers that use JAS, start a tech committee, meet with them maybe once a quarter, and just pick their brain, saying, how is the solution right now? Do you enjoy it? What kind of feature requests do you want? What do you want us to add in the system? Because I said it a lot of times, and I'll say it right now, I am not the insurance expert. From a phone system, from a development standpoint, I can bring a vision to life, but I need the vision to come from my clients, because they know what the industry wants and they know what the best tools would be for them. So we're going to be implementing this tech committee and really starting to listen more to our customers and adding tools that brokers want. So that's where we're going, and we're not going to stop developing. We're in constant development. We have a long feature laundry list right now that we're adding, and we're never going to stop doing that. So that's where we're at right now with JAS.
The world of insurance is changing because the world of tech is changing. Join us on the journey at ibactech.ca.